Big Johnny. Little Titan Tuesday action going on. Let's see the pipes. What do we got working? Always looking good.
Trying.
Consistent. I asked a question today on can you maintain? The actual question is, do you think you can maintain? And if so, and you want to throw an age in there, what ages can you maintain? Is some of the questions, and I'd like to branch off of that. If that's a question that you can answer or want to answer.
I mean, you can maintain, I think, at any age, right? If you're doing the exact same thing over and over and over. I mean, maintain like that. I was just talking about that earlier. Like, if you eat the exact same calories every day, you do the exact same activity every day, and you balance out, you're going to stay the exact same, right? I mean, to a certain degree, as long as you're exercising, weightlifting and stuff like that. If you stay the exact same, you do the exact same thing, you're going to stay the exact same way. It's when you start changing things is when you start really seeing change. Whether it's in taking more calories and not exercising or having any activity. And I mean, we're going to start storing those calories and that's going to become fat, right? So at that point, like, you pick or choose. Like if you're active, and let's say you're training weightlifting, you're increasing your calorie count, you can be building more muscle. So at that point, like it really depends on, what age they can. But, why do you just want to maintain though? That's the thing. Do you want to just maintain because, I just like the way I look like this, and that's what I want to maintain? Because I think we should also be progressively going forward in some way, shape, or form. I mean, whether it's lifting 2.5 pounds more, the next week or as we go, or doing more reps or adding different exercises into play or different activities. I think there's things that you can go because, once you've been on this earth for so long, things might start getting boring to you to a certain aspect. You might love things, but you're getting burnt out on that specific activity. Or you want to challenge yourself, and as we get older, it's harder to challenge ourselves because a lot of people aren't in good shape. I seen the thing today. I don't know if you've seen this. It was a thing. It was an article basically saying that by 2030, a fit body will be worth $1 million or the equivalent of a rare Rolex. Think about that. By 2030, they say in the next 2 years will be 80% to 90%, depending on how fast it goes, overweight and obesity. What do you think about that?
Just so I understand, you're saying that $1 million, it's worth $1 million because you're not paying for illnesses and stuff, or what does that mean?
No, it's that rare.
Oh, I got you.
It's going to be that rare to have a fit body by 2030.
Oh,
we were talking about today with the VR.
Yeah, with the VR. Okay, so that's ironic that we talked about that. Let me couple things. One is it's an interesting. It's maintaining to me. Maybe we're moving into. I guess we're moving into a time because my belief was that it's hard to maintain because we're aging. So no matter what you do, you have to be trying to get better, or you're going backwards. Is my thought. But I think we're in a day and age where like Titan Medical is around to where it gets to, if anything is lowering or things are going off, Titan Medical can help you keep it there, which would help you maintain that goal of whatever it is. Because my statement was like, can you maintain the body fat where you want it and the muscle mass where you want it?
Right.
And it's funny now. There's finally enough research and stuff that all these people that says no matter what you lose muscle, and no matter what you fade away. It's like, well, no, that's not true. You can take in half the amount of protein and still retain the muscle.
Absolutely.
So it's you're right. I don't know about maintaining. I don't know where we are yet, but it seems as though with something like Titan Medical, it's probably more for me to understand that it can happen now.
Yep. I mean, listen, it's definitely a lot easier to maintain or slow down the clock, as I like to say. Yeah. Because that's what we want to do. We essentially want to slow down the clock with aging. And that's, physically, mentally, the whole thing. So At that point, like
We
you
call
know,
it manage the decline.
yes, that's
Manage
good,
the decline,
right?
right?
So yeah, if we're managing this decline, we're being preventative in some ways, or we're trying to make sure that we don't decline in some of these different ways, like bone density or muscle mass or all these different things that happen as we age. So at that point, like being able to look at certain hormones per se and dialing those hormones in that might become deficient or out of balance that may be causing some of these issues down the road. That's one way to slow things down. To make sure
Yeah.
your IGF-1 level is good and a good level, that's another way to slow things down too as well. And then obviously taking care of yourself, eating, drinking, sleeping, doing activity, obviously those essentials along with it. But yeah, there's definitely something that you can do for yourself, no matter who you are, to start slowing down that clock and start aging gracefully, I guess. And that's
this
what we
is
want
the
to do,
time.
right?
I think this is like the most perfect time to do that because of what's available now and
Right.
what you guys are doing, but just what health is doing and the understanding of health. If you find the right research and uh, understand nutrition is medicine, if you're one of those people, I think you could really slow it down and really change things, and you could be that, Brad Pitt at 60 still doing what he does, looking like he does. It's
Yeah.
incredible. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Jumping forward to your statement about the in shape body, I think we saw something we talked about it a month ago, if I'm correct, that there is, I think it's like is it 5% that you're going to be this tall, this in shape, making this kind of money. It's like such a small percentage.
Yes.
And then that clarifies what you just said is the fact that it will be as rare, the in shape.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, because think about it. Anybody could get in shape. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter. I mean, your disability maybe, but if you don't have any disabilities, you don't have no excuses. I mean, you literally could get in shape if you wanted to, and it does not cost anything to do. Like doesn't mean you have to be jacked up. You can just be in shape. That means just lean, maybe a six pack, nice lean muscle on you. And at that point, yeah, it's crazy to even think this. It's crazy to even think like back when I was a kid. Like I remember, and I told my son this. I'm like, it's crazy because I asked him. I said, how many in your class are like? He's like, pretty much the whole class are overweight and obese. So at that point, he's like, there's not too many fit people. He's like, there's one basketball player. Yeah, he's fit, but pretty much the whole class is just not there. So I remember looking around class, like when I was little, and I started thinking back about it. I'm like, man, like there was only like one in my class that was overweight. And that guy got picked on for being the overweight kid. All the other kids were not overweight at all. I mean, so it's just crazy how it's just came to this point where everybody, a majority of people, and you see it when you go out. That's the biggest thing. And if you don't see it, start opening your eyes, because I guarantee the next place you go, you'll see what I'm talking about. I don't care.
Yeah, I always say just open your eyes at the airport. Don't keep your head down. Look around, and then if you're that individual that says, "Hey, I'm doing good for 35," and then you go to an airport and see all the 35-year-olds, you're not going to want to say that again.
No,
because it's not a good average. Now I understand this. I understand that the last 4 years, almost 5 years now, has been an absolute crazy scientist. What's the word?
It's science
No,
without
not
fiction.
just like a movie, like an unreal. Yeah. And so I understand people were locked down and probably got off their game, which I understand. But man, you can get back into shape in 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Which speaks of like January 1st is coming.
Yeah.
Why don't we all, as a crew and a team of Titan Medical, let's all plan that we push for January 1st to be in shape.
Yeah.
That should be a goal for anybody and everybody that's watching today. All right. And you can see right here, we got the number up there. If you guys need help or guidance, Titan Medical is there to help you guys out.
Yes. Yep. 727-389-3220. Call or text.
Right there off the bottom of the screen or on John's or my side right there. You can see that. Jeff, will you throw up the link to the website? There we go. There we go. There's the website. And for you guys out there that heard what John was saying earlier, is we got into discussion about can you maintain, and I think this is probably the best time for you guys to maintain. And then the second thing was Johnny was talking about the rarity of being in shape.
Right.
What can they do to start this process to say, hey, I'm done with this?
Start this week. We've got the blood test, the blood work special, all the way through Halloween. So at that point, I think that would be the first thing to do. Obviously, if you call or text us, we can see for a variety of different things without a blood test. But I think blood testing could be the first step, or should be possibly for you to do, just to see what's going on, to know what's going on. At that point, to schedule a consultation with our medical provider to go through everything and all your options, go through your health history, your family health history, your symptoms, what you're trying to achieve. And at that point, if you have the blood test, they're going to go over that in full. And then make a personal recommendation about what your options are and educate you about what it's going to do for you, whether it's all the benefits, if there's any negative side effects, making sure that you're informed and educated about what you're going to be doing. So that would be the first thing I would recommend for you guys to do. So you guys can call or text us. You guys go to the website, go to the new patient paperwork, fill it out. Once it's filled out, we will contact you and see which path you want to go down. Or if you just want to initially just get started with a blood test, just call or text us directly. It takes 5 minutes to do. It's very simple, very easy, and we get you all set up wherever you're at in your zip code nationwide.
I was talking to an ex-pro football player yesterday. I'd say in his early 40s, good sized guy. Played D-line. He's about, I would say, Mike's about, what do you think, 6'4", 6'5"? Mike, on the incline, when we went back at the end of the workout, Mike used to play, he was a D-line. Yeah. Good sized guy, right? Yeah, he's 315, carries it well. Yeah, so I think he's definitely 6'5", 6'6".
Wow.
Early 40s, about 315, but carries it well. But he and I agreed that I thought a good weight for him would be 250. Now, it was surprising. Somebody at such a high caliber of life, financially, business-wise, athletically, knew so little about nutrition. So he went in, I guess he got some blood work done, but this is from the family doctor, obviously. I call that pregnant, whatever that would be considered. Yep. And he said his creatinines came back high. And he said, the doctor said, hey, be really, really careful with your protein intake. And I said, that's your family doctor.
Yeah.
Because understanding one main thing is that he takes in 60 grams of protein a day. Now, if nobody understands that,
60 grams, that's it?
60 grams for anybody that's here would be 2 protein drinks. Now, understand he is a good 50 pounds bigger than I am. He's a huge human, but he's taking in 60 grams. So now what you got is you got the breakdown of the muscle from him working out. Absolutely nothing to recover off of. Because he's not in any way doing a proper nutrition to where his muscles can recover.
Right.
You know, you can sleep all you want, but 60 grams of protein is not retaining anything.
Damn, dude. That's pretty low.
So what would you say to him about the creatines, his family doctor saying, listen, you need to take down your protein more?
I mean, I don't think that's correct. I mean, listen, I'm not his doctor, so I'm not going to say, oh, your doctor should have said this or that. Like, we just don't do that. But
I'll say that.
But at this point,
I'll say the doctor's an absolute idiot.
I'm saying for what we would come from, we would say, no, that's absolutely false. Like, listen, 60 grams of protein is it's not going to do anything. It's a drop in a bucket, you know, for him, especially if he's that big. I mean, obviously, listen, we need to support the muscle that's there. We need to get enough protein in our diet to be able to satisfy that muscle as far as that goes. Now, you know, going overload, like 3-to-1, basically, I don't think that's a good idea, you know, if he's having these issues. But then we need to talk about, listen, did he train before he went in and got this blood test? Did he not train? Did he drink water? Did he not drink water? I mean, these are things that can affect it. But I mean, listen, that's the first thing they say to people that have kidney issues. You better get off red meat. right? But when you start, and this is so crazy, when you start looking, because I had to look through all this because my dad's in stage 4. So I'm like, all right, so let me look at what they can eat. And in there it says meat. It's like, it's crazy. So it's really contradicting to what the provider says, to what the pamphlet says. I think honestly, everybody's different. And like me, I can eat meat all day. That's not going to affect my kidney levels like that. Some people it might. I'm not going to speak on everybody, but majority of people, I don't think it's because of the protein intake that they're having. There's some other problem that's going on that's damaging their kidneys and really putting stress on it. Like unless they're being excessive in protein eating, right? And that's it. I mean, I can't see that ever happening just because the protein intake is there, unless it's an extreme amount of protein every single day. And I don't think he was doing that.
Yeah, I said to him, first off, understand that you train like an animal, you train all the time. So that's going to throw off the numbers as well. Also, you're not recovering. So you're going to have muscle breakdown more than the typical guy. Also, if a doctor goes off of his book knowledge and not the individual himself,
Right.
it's not a good doctor.
No.
If it's a doctor that was actually there going, listen, I know you. I know that you train well. I know that you're doing all this stuff. Let's take a look at your nutrition and see what you're doing there. I'm not the guy to talk to, but let's go do that for a month and come back and do another blood test.
Yeah.
And that's what I said to him. I said, listen, it's great that your doctor tells you this, but you're taking it verbatim, and then you're going off of that. You're going to lower your protein from 60 grams to 30 grams.
How does that even work?
It's a great job. This is you're listening to him, and this is what you're going to do. Instead of you going, listen, don't go to him. Go to like a provider, like Titan Medical. And I said that. And I gave him the number.
Yeah.
And I said, go over there, do your blood work, but then take responsibility, change your nutrition, and then go back and see what it looks like in a month, and then go back another month after that. I said, it's a cool discovery when you find out what your body can work off of and how you change it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't be just a pilot, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, honestly, like, what was his previous blood test at? Like, because is this something that's just an anomaly, just popped up on this one? Has it been previous? Where's it been? Is it trending up, trending down? This is stuff that I like to tell people. And, I tell them, like, after, if they don't, then I'm like, hey, from this point forward, start taking a copy of all your blood tests and holding on to them so you can kind of see where it's at, what it's been doing, from that point to wherever you're at. So, yeah, definitely need to look at it. And you definitely need somebody that is trained to look at something like this. I mean, listen, you give a general practitioner, you show them ALT and AST liver functions, and they're in triple digits, they're going to freak out. They're going to freak out. Us, we see it. It happens. It is what it is. We can fix it. Liver is a little bit easier for us to fix than kidneys as far as levels, but, it is what it is. And doctors have no training in nutrition unless they went by themselves and done their own course. But through med school, they have no training whatsoever on nutrition at all. So at that point, like, I really wouldn't be listening to a doctor on how to eat, especially if they don't look the part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. Speaking of nutrition, someone here says, what is the best way to calculate your daily macros?
Ooh.
So many different formulas out there. What's your advice? I don't know of a lot of what's a lot of
there's like a 70
formulas.
30 30. I mean, there's protein 70, fats 30, carbohydrates 30. I mean, you can really start breaking this down, but there's calculators out there that they'll break down what your macro should be total by your body weight, your height, and some other things they take. That's pretty cool. There's also some really good apps that you can scan anything, whether it's a McDonald's hamburger or a regular chicken breast that you got from Publix, and it'll give you kind of what those are. So that's the best way that I tell people to do it. I kind of know what mine are and just eat that every single day. I mean, that's the easiest way, right? Simple and easy.
Yeah, I think it goes back to, we've talked about this a few times, but you just take your body weight, what your goal should be. I guess you would be like, let's say you want to be 200 pounds. So I just take in 200 grams of protein. I would make sure that your fats are in a good range, that you're healthy fats. And then your carbohydrates will kind of go off of where you're at right now. A lot of programs or computers would tell you to take in like 250 or 300, but unfortunately, I don't know how you set up your body if you've ran away from carbohydrates or how your body functions with carbs.
Yeah.
I would just keep it low at first and see how you function, and then keep moving it up as best you can,
Yep. It's about
depending on your
progressive
age.
overload, progressive loading at that point. Same thing.
See how it
Pretty
works.
simple.
And then just keep a track on it and make sure that you can keep ahead of the body plateauing. Be great.
All right. Then we got, is water depleting the best way to make your abs pop? You think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, a combination of that with make sure that your sodium prior to when you do manipulate the water is up, and then pull it away as you come down.
But you gotta have abs.
Yes, having abs. But I'm thinking this kid right here, he's got some sick abs. But yeah, I would just manipulate it. Your body
Yeah.
changes off of manipulation. You want to get bigger?
Yeah.
More calories, manipulate it to feed and eat more and get stronger.
Yep. So true.
Or
Definitely
do
true.
what Johnny does. Johnny is on point 24/7.
Yeah. I've never depleted my water like that at all. I think
You
the
don't
only
need
time,
to. You got great abs.
I haven't depleted like that. I think I take enough water, and I don't like go crazy on sodium. But yeah, I mean, there's been days, before, I would say a couple of years ago, some of the old school tricks from back in the day when they used to introduce alcohol, and they would do 1 or 2 shots the night before,
Yeah.
and they come up and then be a little bit more peeled. I've done that before. I thought it worked all right. But I don't know. I stay consistent. I guess not drinking water would probably be better in uploading the sodium, like you're saying. I'm gonna try that. I've never tried it before.
Well, you still drink water, but it's the manipulation and the percentage of.
I want to do this one time with you, just to see just how it would affect me or how it would look.
A little dry out.
Little dry out. I might as well try to do it. I've never officially done a dry out. I just do consistently the same things over, and I'm maintaining.
You're doing it right, brother. You're doing it right. I know that
Trying.
Drew always looks like he's drying out. He always
does.
looks incredible.
He does. He's always on point too, for sure. All right. So feeling like I haven't had the motivation like I used to in the gym. I'm 35. What are some tricks to stay motivated? Thanks, Mike. So you want to go and I'll go?
Oh, go for it. I want to hear what the master says here.
All
What do you
right.
got?
All right. So listen, if you've lost motivation like you had and you used to, and you're 35 years old, this could be low testosterone levels. This could be unmotivating you. You're not, feeling the same way you used to, probably. Body's probably changing. If this is the case, and you're having some of these symptoms and even fatigue, a part of it, or not recovering like you probably should, at that point, I would blood test. Go through the blood test, see what's going on, right? Because there's some underlying problem here. If that's not a problem, like, hey, listen, I'm just not motivated to go to the gym. I mean, I guess you have to get there and start getting motivated, right? Like, something's going to motivate you, whether it's the way that you look, the way that you feel, the way that you want to look, I guess. That should be motivating to you to want to get in there and to get your body to where it needs to be. I mean, that's always motivating to me. Like, I'm like, all right, listen, like, especially when I was down, when you're down from surgeries, like, you can't do anything. That motivates the hell out of you. You're like, I can't wait. I'm just chomping at the bit. So at that point, like, you got to get in there. 50% of the battle is getting to the gym. The other 50% is bringing the right attitude to the gym and training with intensity. Not just going and walking through and going through the routine. And you can have the best routine in the world. Mike might write you the best routine in the world. If you're not bringing the intensity when you go there, you're not going to be getting what you want. So, it's not a chore. It's a pleasure, right? At that point, you should be in there and want to do it, because ultimately it is affecting you. I say this to Sharice or Peter or whatever when they're training. I'm like, this ain't for me. This is for you. Like, you're getting the ultimate benefit out of this, not me. Like, I could care less. Like, I just want you to be healthy and be strong. But at that point, like, that's where I think a lot of people miss. A lot of people are scared to go there. They don't want to be around people that might be fit per se, or they're embarrassed the way they look or whatever it may be. But, I see a lot of people in there really pushing it. I know January, we're going to have a ton of people pushing it, right? But before that, those are the true real deal people. Like if they start before that and they start working at it, by January you're gonna have to be so many light years ahead of those people that that you see every day in the and at that point, that's the way to be. I think that's the way it motivates.
Um, for me, there's just not enough gratitude in your life. You're 35. When you're 45, you're going to look back at this moment and go, holy sheesh, I had it good. I could have been taking care of myself, investing in myself. So I think it's gratitude. You don't wake up going, holy sheesh, I got 2 arms, 2 legs. I function. I can take care of myself. I can get to the gym. I can do this stuff. Yeah, that has to switch. Yeah, 'cause
Definitely.
like Johnny says, it's not motivation. You need some kind of like, holy sheesh, I got one life. Let me live
Literally.
the fullest. Let me take care of the vessel that's going to get me through this next, hopefully 60,
Yeah.
70 years.
Yeah.
But if you're not taking care of it at 35,
Yep.
you're just not appreciating the life.
Yeah, you got a lot of life to live, man. At 35
Yeah.
for sure. A lot of life. I mean, even if you're only going to live to 70 per se, you still got 35 years to go. That's a long time. That's definitely a long time.
And you got to be able to move at that time. Somebody
Absolutely.
broke down age. They broke down. Was that you, Jeff, that saw that? They broke down the age.
Well,
When you age the fastest,
No, in life, you got
yeah, so many years.
75 years, right? The average is 75 years.
right?
But for the first 5 or 10 years, it's you're a baby or a child, so those are removed, and then you got a portion of when you're a senior citizen. Again, you don't function well, the brain and everything, and so there's a portion of where you don't do much at that stage, and they kind of removed all these years that aren't quality years.
Mhm.
And they come back to those 18 to 30 and going, you really get this many great solid years. And when somebody broke that down, that I saw this a couple of weeks back, I was like, holy shnikes, I'm so glad I took care of my health, so I got a little bit more. But just to think about that, and to go, really, there's a small portion, a small window of energetic and body working with you, and you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, and not everybody's lucky to live till 75, so you never know. So get up and get moving, be appreciative that you can do this. And if, like Johnny said something I thought that was great, you don't want to go to the gym because of you don't want to go there because of something like people are in shape and you're not in shape right now. Nobody cares. Get your butt to the gym, get there, kick it into gear, push it. It doesn't matter what nobody else says about you or does about you. It's about your life and about you doing your best.
In terms of longevity, I feel like I need to get in peak shape before a certain age. I'm 27 now, and hold that shape. How should I attack this?
Great start. Great job. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that you should just get in the incredible and best shape of your life when you're 20s. And then I don't think you should approach the second part like you have here is to hold that. Big
Sorry,
John,
I don't know what happened. I literally don't know what happened.
I think Jeff just kicked you out for being too jacked.
Thanks, Jeff.
So I was just saying, I agree with this kid that, yeah, in your 20s, teens and 20s, you should just get in the best shape of your life. You should just kick ass at living and setting yourself up. But then afterwards, I think that you should mentally control it to where you're not going psycho, but still trying to get a little better over time.
Absolutely.
Is I think the best approach to really live a fruitful life, I guess they say, in my day. Johnny, what's your take on getting in shape at that stage?
Take advantage of those years, dude. Those are the good years for sure. I mean, those should be your best feeling years almost. 20s to 30s, you should be feeling good, but 20s especially, you're still growing, man. You're still going through genetics to a certain extent on the early 20 side. And then after that, you can really start packing on some good quality lean mass. And over time, like Mike said, don't go crazy. Put on a couple pounds of good quality lean mass every single year and keep it. And at that point, you'll be set up for a great future. And especially if you keep, being active and weightlifting and stuff like that, when you're 50, 60 years old, you look like Michael Hearn, hopefully. But even if you don't, you'll be in really good shape and you'll be able to keep some of that quality lean muscle. Even if you lose some, you still got a good amount on you. They said even with cancer patients, the more muscular you are, the better chance you have to live, because you'll deteriorate, yes, but you'll eat away a lot of that muscle, but that muscle will protect you from, deteriorating to nothing if you have a lot of it. So, it's just one thing. And after so long, they say that, you can't grow as much muscle as you could, when you're in your 20s and 30s because of cells. So at that point, you're not going to have as many and they're not going to be able to grow like that. So unless you're taking different things, that could happen. But other than that, man, you have to jump on it early, and be cautious of what you're doing. That's the other side, flip side of it. Don't go crazy like on your joints. I'm like prime candidate for this. At 43 years old, total shoulder replacement I need. Don't do that, because in your 20s, you're like, oh man, everything's gonna feel great. You recover, but I'm telling you, you start abusing into your 20s, into your 30s, in your 40s, you're gonna start feeling it and really paying the price from there and on out.
Yeah, I agree with you. And we were talking about that again today. We were talking about because we were training with a 20-year-old, and I just said, take your time on the warm-ups. Even though we were training together, he didn't notice the warm-ups I was doing relative to him. And again, I fully understand 20, and I fully understand waking up like you could jump on the wrestling mat without stretching and go.
Right.
Trust me, I was that kid. We'd warm up on squats with 225 or 245 because we used hundreds, and 245 on deadlifts just from the start. Didn't warm up with anything less than that. So I understand being that young kid and stuff, but I think warm-ups are a great thing. And so just going back to the youngster, be smart, train smart.
Yep. Eat good. 51, female with RA. Will weightlifting help strengthen my bones? I've already lost 30 pounds and feel great. Just want to tone up and feel stronger. So yeah, absolutely. Weightlifting is definitely going to help strengthen things. And then I guess check your hormones, make sure those are good.
Yeah.
RA is rheumatoid arthritis. So at that point, that sucks. But the best way you can get around some of that is like, anti-inflammation. And I'm not talking about like NSAIDs, but like glutathione's a really good one for rheumatoid arthritis. That's another good one you can use.
Nice job.
TB and BPC as far as inflammation from the RA, that could pretty much help. I know my dad's got it, so that's what he uses. And you've already lost 30 pounds, man. That's awesome. So at that point, you're well on your way. Maybe there's some more improvements you can do, and maybe you can start expediting a little bit more weight loss to get to whatever your goal is.
Yeah, and 51's a great age. I know of a 70-year-old powerlifting woman, a 80-year-old powerlifting woman, and she doubled her bone density, and she didn't start lifting until she was 56.
Wow.
It's cool to see, but you want to have some fun, go on the internet and just type in weightlifting for women over 50. And you're going to see some incredible studies and write-ups talking about that's the number one thing for you to do for bone density. And so again, I know that the arthritis is a pain in the butt, but movement is the best thing for arthritis.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It really is. It's like a car. You want to keep it active and moving. So one guy in here said all this one. Oh, wait, here's another one. You got one? Go ahead. 25 years old, 5'11", 180 pounds, 21% body fat. Goal is 205 to 210, 12 to 15% body fat. What's the ideal nutrition path to get to this goal? Okay. So this really depends on a lot of different things, I guess. Like, I guess we see where he's at right now at 21% body fat. So what do we need to do here? We want to get up in weight and we want to lose body fat. So what are we going to do? Obviously, we're going to weight train, but nutritional path to get to this goal. I don't know, Mike. I mean, for me, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to lower carbs too much, but I'd probably lower carbs just a little bit for him. I don't know where it's at currently, but at that point, like, I don't know. I mean, I would go with obviously a high protein diet, um, low fat, maybe mid carbohydrate. Just really depends, I guess, on him, how he's doing with carbohydrates already right now. What about you? What do you think?
Uh, I think the realization to accept that 21% body fat is fat, and that for he's Clint Eastwood said it best: a man's got to know his limitations. At this point, you got to realize that you are overweight, and you're only 180. So I would recommend you slice and dice and get rid of some of that body fat before you start picking goals in this sense. I think right now, just get sliced. Get as ripped as you can because you're 25. You don't want that extra weight around your stomach into your 30s because of future problem with your skin.
Yep.
Would be the number one goal. I would disregard the 205, 210, 12% body fat right now. Just
Yep.
focus on getting sliced.
Yeah, you want to be lean before you really start growing like that, because if anything, you're just going to pack out more fat if you start, increasing calorie count like that. I mean, if you're already 21% body fat, I mean, this is something you need to look at for sure. I mean,
Yeah. See if you can get that body fat down to 7%.
yeah.
Get it down there. Get ripped. Now, what's your body weight going to be? Obviously, we can tell some kind of weight differences here. It's going to be, pretty low for a 5'11" guy.
Yeah.
But there's a thing called skinny fat, and right now that's where you're sitting at.
Yeah.
So
Better
keep
to be skinny and dice than skinny fat for sure.
yeah.
Think
Keep
what the scale
lifting.
says.
Keep lifting. Get sliced. Take the next January 1st. You can start bulking up
Yeah.
because you'll be sliced to the bone. January 1st. Everybody will look at you going, "Holy cow! You look better now than ever."
Yeah.
And you might be. Truth of the matter is, you might be 155, 160 at 5'11", almost 6 foot. It is, but it's Brad Pitt. Brad
Yeah.
Pitt,
Yeah.
5'11". He was once 155, 158 for Fight Club.
Fight Club?
That small,
Get out of here.
and he looked that great.
Wow.
He's
Listen, I don't
Supergirl.
take that away from anybody. Like somebody said there about the 1 meal a day thing doesn't work. And you were telling me about Frank eating 1 meal a day and the way he looks too as well at his age. I'm like, man, that's pretty good.
Will you check to see if we can let them get out there? I'm not sure if we can or not. Don't know if they're still here. Let's see what we got here.
Have any tips on how to get back from Achilles rupture as an athlete? TB 500, BPC 157 for sure. That would be your only ticket. Other than that, maybe IGF 1. You can utilize that along with BPC and TB 500 to hopefully, and then you're gonna have a hell of a lot of rehabilitation, man. I mean, for sure.
Talk about that, the emotional part, because physically, Johnny can get you there to be healed and stronger than ever.
Yep. The emotional part, obviously, you gotta be strong minded for sure.
Yeah,
You
make
gotta
sure that
trust
your
what's going on.
make sure that your T level is good. Make sure it's healthy. Make sure you're in the right position, because we were just talking to a youngster a couple weeks back, Johnny and I, and he felt like his life was over because he was injured, and the guy wasn't even 20 years old.
Yep.
So make sure that everything's working fine. Make sure the body's working fine. But Johnny kicked it out of the park. The TB,
Yep,
BPC.
BPC, maybe some IGF 1, add in there, you'd be good to go.
What's another one that you see, Johnny? You got better eyesight than I.
Best way to lose belly fat and gain muscle. I have a little bit of belly fat and I'd like to lose, but I still want to keep building my muscle. Well, I mean, you can do testosterone. It'll start taking out that belly fat. But obviously, listen, with this, you're obviously going to want to weight lift. And you're going to want to start looking at the nutrition, because I don't know what the nutrition looks like. But that would be your best bet for a recomposition type play to build lean muscle, maybe get rid of some of the belly fat if that's the only thing you have. Now, if you just have belly fat, this could be a problem with your hormones too as well. There could be something that's off, and that's what's causing the belly fat to be there. It happens on females, happens on guys, same thing. So At that point, I would say, listen, maybe get your blood checked, see where those levels are at. Maybe something's off, because that could be easily taken care of, and that could probably, hopefully, solve the problem. And if you are changing the lifestyle and doing the other things, then you can be well on your way to get less belly fat and gain lean muscle.
Yeah, the only thing I'd add on there is most people have to stop the twofold. Do the one thing, take care of the one problem, then move on. And just like the kid before this was, he's 21% body fat and wants to be 30 pounds heavier, but with less body fat. You're trying too many things. It takes time, and it takes such dedication to change one way.
Yep.
You're trying to do two ways. It's like, and so the same thing here. If you got some belly fat, get rid of the belly fat, retain your muscle. And then after you get that belly fat off, then you can start building again. But if you're trying to do two folds, you're not going to change. You're trying to take in enough calories that you can build muscle, but you want to lose the weight. Johnny said some great points. You know, you can start the testosterone, bump up the IGF and those things, and the AOD.
Yeah, AOD is
all
another
those
good
things. And maybe you're not training hard enough that the extra calories may help you, but I would just be smart about just take care of the one aspect at times, because it's quicker too.
Yeah.
Mostly with what Johnny just said, you do that for 8 weeks, I'll guarantee that lower abs are sliced.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're a different beast. And then at that point, you'd be like so hyped up going, wow, Johnny, what else can I do now to go the other way?
Yeah. I mean, that's how it is, man. You accomplish one goal, one mission, go on to the next one for sure.
Let me see if go further on that, because of the fact that I don't think people realize when the body is working with you, how fast it can change.
Yeah. I mean, the best example I give to people is like a race car or your regular car. If something's off in that, it's not going to go its best lap. It's not going to run like it should. And the body's the exact same way. And if everything is working in a harmonic balance and working together like it should and optimized, you're going to get the best result. Your metabolism is going to be working the best it can. Mind's going to be working. The body in general is just going to be where it should be, optimally working at those levels. So, I mean, that's the most important thing, and making sure there's nothing broken down or everything deteriorating in there that you can fix per se. If you fix those different things and you get to the root of the problem of these things, then you're going to have a good result, and you're going to get to where you want to go.
And here's a great one for you, Johnny.
Sure. Thinking about getting my blood tested, are there any specific biomarkers I should consult my doctor about to cut fat and make sure T is optimized? So, like I said, our in-depth blood test covers all this and more. And your general practitioner doctor is probably not going to run all these blood tests. But if they do, here's a quick run down that list. A CMP 14, it's a comprehensive metabolic panel. It has 14 different tests in there, highlighted tests in there, EGFR, BUN, creatinine, AST, ALT, fasting glucose. That's liver, kidneys, and then your fasting glucose. That means the sugar that's in your body currently. After that, a complete blood cell count, a CBC. That's going to do white blood cell count, red blood cell count, hemoglobin, hematocrit. You want to check those levels, especially if you're on testosterone, to make sure they're okay. White blood cell count is going to check if there's infection, non-infection, or so on. After that, we want to go down that list. If you're a guy, we're going to test PSA. At that point, that's going to be for your prostate. We're going to see where your prostate's at. This is very important, especially for guys, no matter what age you are, from 20 on up, because prostate cancer is on the rise. Young people are getting prostate cancer. Old people are obviously getting prostate cancer. And we want to catch this, if we can, in the earlier stages, if any. So at that point, when you blood test, we'll see where that level's at. And if that level does come back at a certain range, then we know that, listen, you might need to go see a specialist about that. After that, we want to do a full cholesterol panel, right? Total cholesterol, triglycerides, HDL, good cholesterol, LDL, bad cholesterol ratio. After that, we're going to go into a full thyroid, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, T3, T4. After that, we're going to get the free and total testosterone levels. Then we want progesterone. Then we want IGF-1 levels, and we want B12 levels. And that's just your general in-depth blood test for a male for $130 nationwide, wherever you're at. So I don't even think it'd be worth your wait to pay the copay, to go into the doctor, to get the slip,
So there's
go
my
back
question.
to the lab,
Yeah.
come
So-
back in, pay another copay,
How much
get those
do you want
results,
me
which
to
might
pay
take weeks, and
for
then
that blood work?
you might not even get what you want. So at that point,
Okay.
I would just go through us. It'd be a lot easier, a lot smoother, a lot more simplified.
I'm not sure Mona handles the doctor. So it would be the copay or you would have to pay for it outright.
Yes. So you
I
go
was
in
just
there.
talking to her,
Yeah.
and this guy seems like he wants to go through his doctor,
Yes.
and
Well,
I
a lot of
don't
people-
think his doctor will do all that.
So a lot of people want to use their insurance because they pay for insurance, right? Or
Right.
the company provides great insurance.
Okay.
Why pay if I have insurance? Okay, so that's a great question. The reason you're paying because one, if someone does come back on that blood test that's wrong, now it's on your permanent record. With Titan, that's not going to happen. Two, you're going to be able to get the blood test a lot quicker and the results expedite a lot faster. That means you get the slip, you go and get your blood checked. We have it in 3 to 4 business days instead of weeks in between because possible appointment times and all that other good stuff. The co-payments, you're probably going to pay your co-payments. Some people don't, most people
Right.
do. And even for the blood testing and things that go on, they have a deductible that they have to pay for first before the insurance starts picking up some of
Right.
these things. Then, can your provider run these tests? Well, the real person that decides that is the insurance company, not the provider, because the insurance company.
Say that
decides-
again. Your provider decides, not your doctor.
No. So your insurance company decides what tests are going to be covered by what the provider gives them as far as an ICD-10 code. That's an insurance code they do for billing. Now, when the insurance company gets that code and they see what they wanted, they'll look at it and be like, all right, this is okay. Or, you know what? We don't think this is valid. Now we're going to push this back. So when they push it back, it doesn't go to the provider and for, oh, I have to pay for this. It gets pushed back onto the patient. And then they have to pay the full cost of that blood test, which is not discounted. It's very expensive. That could be a couple $100 just for one little test.
Wow.
So these are just some of the different things of the reason why you don't go through insurance for some of these different things. Now, listen, if you're sick, you got a problem like that, go to your general practitioner and they can run a CBC on for you. And that's going to get covered by insurance. And it's going to tell you if you have infection or non-infection. Certain things use your insurance for, but there's certain things that probably not going to be the best way to do things. And it's going to be a lot of hoops you have to jump through for a lot of different things. Even if it was testosterone per se, 264 to 916 total guys, right? So at 265, you come back and you're normal, but you're at the bottom of the barrel. You're 1 point above the low deficient range. Insurance company's eyes, doctor's eyes, you are normal. You are normal. It doesn't matter. Well, doc, this is not working. Well, no problem. Here's some Viagra that's getting covered by insurance. Doc, I don't feel good. I just don't feel right. Well, here's some antidepressants to get your mood up. And then they're going to send you on your way. Now, have they fixed the problem? No. Have they masked the problems? Yeah, they've masked the problems, but you're still going to have these problems if you don't take these medications, or even worse down the line. So it's something to really get a hold of. It's not worth taking the shortcut route, I guess, in any of these ways, because obviously, listen, this is your body that's going to affect in the long run. You want to do the best for yourself you possibly can. And if you don't, I feel sorry for you. You really should. If you don't feel like that, I think you should really reevaluate yourself and give yourself a little bit more kudos to be a better, to be a better you.
Johnny crushing it, man. Get to your game, Captain.
Sorry, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
hanging,
much.
Johnny.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Absolute, brother.
All right, I'll talk to you later, though.
Johnny crushing it like always. I'm gonna go in. I have my yearly check tomorrow, right? So I'm curious. It's my yearly check with the doctor, and I'm curious on what they do besides. I'll guarantee they'll, check my blood pressure, listen to my heart for a second or something. But I'm curious to see what they'll do. I'll let you guys know later this week on if they do any blood work or anything like that, because I'm just curious on what a provider or your family doctor actually does on that yearly checkup. Do you remember last year?
They do nothing.
They do nothing, right?
You go in,
How you feel?
yeah,
Good.
they check
Okay.
your heartbeat and the pulse, and then like, okay, you're alive, go home.
Blood pressure.
There you
Little
go.
blood pressure.
Check
That's
your
it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like you said.
All right, guys.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.